to you ladies about waiting for the man that you're gonna marry. So for those of you that follow me on Instagram, I'm sure you've heard a little bit about my story of love, how God has totally answered a prayer of mine to find my husband, to be married, to do life with a man that loves the Lord. And I wanted to share with you guys because I received so many amazing messages and emails from all of you guys just about how much you relate to my story and how you're waiting and you're in that season of being single, and a lot of questions like, what do you do during this season? What do you do to prepare yourself? What do you do to wait patiently and wait in a way that brings glory to the Lord? So I'm really excited to talk to you guys today, give you a few pieces of advice and encouragement that will hopefully help you enjoy the season a little bit more so that you can truly enjoy this season and soak it up for all that it is, and that you won't wish it away. Because I know I've been there where I'm like, Lord, let's just fast forward, right? Like, let's just move on. I got it. I'm learned a lesson. Let's move forward. Let's move on to the part where you romance me with a man, blah, blah, blah. But you guys, this season is so precious, and it honestly was the foundation for how I could build a healthy marriage with my husband without that season of singleness. I honestly believe that marriage would have been a lot harder. And I say that because marriage is so much of what I can bring to the table in unity with marriage comes from the lessons that I've learned and the character that I've developed as a single woman. The strength that I've developed, the ability to go to the Lord when things get hard, when things get challenging, the ability to pray for my husband before I met him and when we're married, pray for him when it's hard, pray for him when things come up, pray for protection and for faith to grow and for him to see favor with people. Those were things that I developed when I was single. And so I want to encourage you guys today, a few things that I would suggest pursuing or doing during this season, and I hope that you guys find it helpful. Please tell me if these are helpful tips. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I hope it's helpful. So tip number 1. I know we love to ask people for prayer. We love to just go to our friends and be like, oh, today's hard. Or go to that one person that's also single and be like, man, it's so hard, and ask for prayer. But I want to encourage you guys, go to the Lord in prayer first. Before you ask for prayer, before you tell someone how difficult it is, before you voice how tired or frustrated or hurt that you are, that you're waiting, that you're still waiting, no matter how long it's been, go to God in prayer first. He loves you the most out of anyone. He literally contains everything that you need to be satisfied, everything you're looking for beyond a man. Even if you have a man, he is our all in all. So if you don't start developing that natural response when you're looking for something to turn to the Lord in prayer first, it's going to be really challenging because you're going to rely on a lot of external things in your marriage. So there will be things that come up in your marriage that are hard, but it's going to take prayer. It's going to be taking communication with the Lord, being consistent and going to God and saying, hey, here's my heart, Lord. I am frustrated, I am upset, I am angry. Like, girls, trust me, I have had my ranting sessions with the Lord, okay? So I know that it is incredibly healing to go before God in prayer first and foremost. The second thing I would encourage you to do is to invest in community around you. When I was single, I really poured into, I saw the opportunity to spend time with families that I wanted to be like. I had so many friends that were older than me, 5-10 years older than me, that had kids that had kids in grade school, that had toddlers, and I just soaked up time with them. I would babysit for them because they would like to go out on date nights. I would carpool their kids around. I served in our children's ministry. That was my job, I'll be honest. But I was there, I was present, I was pouring into people who technically had what I wanted. If a friend got married, I made sure I was at the wedding, that I was pouring out love onto this new union. I made sure to be one of those friends that wouldn't let her selfishness get in the way of celebrating what else someone else had. I just love the idea of really diving into the community around you. Get involved in your church. Get involved in friends' lives. Just because they have kids doesn't mean they don't want you around. They probably want you around more because they're like, can you please just like have some adult conversation with me, because I've been talking to the kids all day and I'm like using my baby voice still, and I'd like to have this, adult conversation. So don't assume that someone doesn't want to spend time with you or do community with you just because they're in a different life stage as you. Pour into those relationships even more and celebrate the engagements that you see. Celebrate the people that you see moving forward in that area that you want. It's hard, but I believe that God honors that, and I believe that that honors the Lord. Number 3, stop. Please stop pursuing the guy first. Okay, so I get questions a lot about if you should tell a guy first that you like him, if you should pursue him first, and those kinds of things. And honestly, I know it's the most annoying thing to hear because I heard it all the time. But it truly happens when you least expect it. And what I mean by that is when you are not actively looking for your husband every corner you turn around. Is he next to me on the plane? Is that him over there picking up broccoli at the store? Oh my gosh, he's shopping in Whole Foods, totes my guy. Oh my gosh, he's in the gym lifting weights. I'm sure that he's single. He's totally for me. Right? Like, we've all been there. We've all thought it. You're like up there standing as a bridesmaid in your friend wedding. You're like, who's looking at me? Where are you at, honey? And you're like searching for the guy that you're supposed to marry because you think like weddings is where it's supposed to happen. Guys, we've all been there. But the reality is, like, before Josh came into my life, I had just been super frustrated with either the quality or the type of relationships that would be developing when I would go on dates with guys. They would either be not interested in faith enough and not want to talk about that and feel like I'm too deep, or I just wasn't really attracted to them. There was no like chemistry or anything like that. And so I just got kind of tired of like waiting around or like trying to get my hopes up and then be discouraged, like that guy's not for me. And I got tired of trying to get ahead of God. I got tired of being like, oh Lord, that's him. I know it's him. Like, you could totally give me a hint, right? I got tired of it. So I literally wrote out in my journal, I am done looking. I am done pursuing. I will know that it's the right man for me when he finds me, when he comes across me and says, I'm the one for him. And you guys, that's exactly what happened. Literally, like, 4 months after that happened, Josh came into my life. He found me. I didn't find him on Instagram. He found me and he pursued me. And so, and honestly, like, that was way more enjoyable than, trying to pursue a guy and like slide into his DM or like Facebook message him or whatever. It's more enjoyable when the man finds you, when he chooses you and pursues you with intention, than if you are trying to figure out a way to get in front of him so that he notices you. And that's not how all love stories happen, but I will say that I found it more enjoyable when I wasn't the one that chased him down, that he was intentional to get in front of me and be like, you're the one that I want. That was pretty cool. I think my fourth tip, this is my fourth one. My fourth tip would be to pour into your relationship with the Lord. I know that it sounds cliche and I know it sounds like, I already do that, but in all reality, analyze your life. Are you spending daily quality time with God? I know for me, that's a constant battle to not want to just sit down after I get done from work and turn on The Bachelor or hang out with my girlfriends, go to happy hour. But you guys, the reality is that in the presence of God is where character development will happen and where God will continue and be able to work on you to be prepared for marriage, to be the kind of woman that a husband would want to call his wife. And that's not to say like, oh, you're single because you have so much work to be done in your relationship with God first. But that is to say that truly you will not waste the time between now and when you get married if you are pouring your heart out into your relationship with God. If you are growing that and constantly like spending time in God's word and spending time in prayer and spending time in relationship with the Lord, you will see incredible fruit come during your season of singleness. And in some ways, you'll kind of miss it once you're married because it was such an opportunity to just be you and God. Like, it's literally you and God. It's like Paul says, like, there's no distraction from doing exactly what God's called you to. And not that marriage is a distraction in many ways. It's just another tool that God uses to refine us and sanctify us. But really focusing on the time that God is giving you now to develop that relationship. It won't be an area where you struggle to find balance between spending time with God and your husband, because that can be a challenge when you get married. Is now you've got this like physical human being in front of you that you love to death, and you're constantly challenged to still cultivate that relationship with God outside of your husband, because your husband can't fulfill all of your needs. He can't satisfy all your needs. So pouring into a relationship with the Lord now is setting you up for a healthy marriage, one where you are still dependent on God first and foremost for all of your needs beyond your husband. And my final tip, enjoy your girl time, because it's not like you can get married and be like, girls, come over for a sleepover. That would be kind of silly. I'm sure maybe some girls do that. I haven't done that. But just enjoy that time of being with just your girlfriends. It's a short season. It won't last forever. But those friendships are ones that will see you through, even into marriage. And there will be things that come up that having that foundation of strong relationships and community with women outside of your marriage is going to be so healthy and helpful for you inside of marriage. So pour into those relationships, enjoy your girl time. Don't get discouraged that there's a reason for why you're not single. Stop looking for that reason, because I will tell you it will be a dead end every time. God is not going to tell us why every single time our prayers aren't answered the right way that we want. He's not going to tell you. He didn't tell me why I was single. After I got married, I think me and my husband both saw what perfect timing it was. We both were learning things, and we were both being used in our communities, our local communities, that had we been married, we wouldn't have been able to pour into that in the same way or the same capacity. So, now being married, we're like, wow, like God really used those seasons. He didn't waste them, and He's not wasting your season of being single now. So don't be discouraged. Pray and trust God. One of the verses that my husband brought up to me recently was, I think it was in Numbers, where he's like, who is God that He should lie? Something like that. What was it?
What?
God is not a man that He should lie.
Numbers 23:19.
What does it say?
God is not a man that He should lie.
Oh, that's right. God is not a man that He should lie. If God has truly put a desire of marriage in your heart, if He has affirms that in prayer, I believe that He's going to provide that. I don't think that He is going to be a liar. He's not going to lie to you. So trust Him. He's trustworthy. He is faithful to answer. Not always in your timing, but always in the perfect timing. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Let me know if you have other questions. I If you guys did like it, please give it a thumbs up, and that way I can make sure to create similar things that would hopefully encourage you guys later down the road. And if you didn't like it, let me know that too, because then I can try to create something that is more suited to encourage you guys. Alright, I'll see you guys later.